everybody! So, a lot of people go into therapy thinking that it's a passive process. You'll talk about your problems and somebody will listen to you and give you perspective. Therapy can be like this, and sometimes this can be a helpful approach, don't get me wrong. However, I tend to favor a more active kind of therapy. So in this week's episode, I'm going to break down 6 exercises that I use with clients working as a provisional psychologist, and I'm going to show you how I do them on myself on a regular basis. In this line of work, I think you really have to practice what you preach. So if I give a client an exercise, I'm either doing it in my daily life or I've tried it out at least once. Also, a quick disclaimer, I'm not recommending that you try these things out if you have mental health difficulties. Always consult with your psychologist first. Instead, I just want to show you what practicing therapeutic exercises can look like in a realistic and creative way. So let's get into this video. First up, no headphones. During weekdays, I don't wear headphones on the commute into work or at the gym or when I go on a long walk. On the weekends, it's a different story. But during the weekdays, any form of travel or exercise, I will be aiming not to listen to any music or podcasts or audiobooks. Instead, I practice noticing skills. I try and notice in a non-judgmental way what my mind is thinking. Observe what my mind does. Or I might check in and see how I feel. How does my body feel? What emotions are coming up? Is there any muscle tension? I'll also try and notice what's happening in the world around me. I'll do some people watching. Notice details about them or the environment that we're in. And the reason for practicing noticing skills? Well, this helps you to become less reactive to your thoughts and feelings over the long term. You start to create more spaciousness in your mind so that you can have more room to sit with difficult thoughts or feelings if they pop up. It's not easy to do this, however, and that's why practicing is key. And removing a distraction from your routine like headphones is a great place to start. Next up, I recommend writing in a journal. A quick fun fact is that I have actually kept a journal since I was at the age of 8 years old, and they are very entertaining to look back on. So whenever I find myself processing some deep emotions, I write it out on paper with a pen. And what this does is it takes this information from an emotional, maybe even chaotic place in my mind into a more logical space. It creates a bit of distance. What's happening in your head is down on paper and you can look at it a bit more objectively. And it also creates a nice channel to start practicing reflection skills. You can ask yourself questions like, what do you want your life to look like? What sort of person do you want to be? What small steps could you start taking to make things better? And what are you feeling grateful for? Next, this is probably one of my favorite exercises because I am a planner. Basically, you want to get out your calendar every month or every 3 months. That's what I like to do personally, and plan out some fun experiences that you can have. Little holidays, catching up with friends, concerts, things that you enjoy doing. And the reason for this is because having something you can look forward to, positive experiences, is more likely to elicit feel-good emotions like joy. I know this one sounds pretty obvious, but sometimes when we're stuck in a rut or we're feeling burned out or really low, then we don't make time for these things. So start getting into the habit of scheduling in fun experiences into your diary. I promise it will make a huge difference. The next one is making time for people. Whether it's a phone call with your best friend, small talk with an office acquaintance, or even smiling with a stranger. Any time that we connect with a human being, it lights up those feel-good chemicals in our brain like wildfire. We are social beings and we do need people in our life to thrive. As an example, I live in a big city and I don't know a lot of people. So sometimes when I'm feeling isolated, I go out and order a coffee and I smile at the person serving it to me and say thank you. Little interactions like these have been shown to be just as powerful, in some cases more, than connecting with a close friend in terms of lifting your spirits. So even if it's just a smile, look for ways that you can connect with other people. Next up, I want to talk about testing limits. We all have a comfort zone of things that we know we can do. If you can imagine this comfort zone as like a small circle, and then around this small circle is a bigger circle of things that we can do but it feels much more uncomfortable. When we start experimenting, taking a very small step outside of that little circle, we begin to expand our comfort zone. As an example, I expanded my comfort zone when I started making YouTube videos and sharing them with people. And recently, I've started making TikToks, which has also been expanding that comfort zone. It's helped me to become more confident and care less about what other people think of me. So you can look for ways to test your limits. Try and take a small step outside of the little circle. And the final one is to make some time for looking at old memories on Instagram or in photo albums. Every few months I might do this for like half an hour. I'll just scroll back through my photo history on my phone. And I take a lot of photos, so there's always a lot to look at. But when we go back and look at special moments or joyful memories, we're doing what's called savoring. We're savoring these experiences that we had. We go back in time to that moment and we relive that memory, and it helps us to feel more grateful. It brings up those same positive emotions that we felt during that experience. So yeah, these are some of the ways that I practice doing therapy on myself. I hope that you found this video interesting, and remember that if you are experiencing mental health difficulties, then talk to your own psychologist first about what exercises they recommend that you try out. And I will see you in another one of my videos. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!